Hello guys and gals, thanks for tuning in today. Today we're going to be covering a topic that I hear a lot of people talk about, but nobody seems to know the actual numbers on. And that is, which team in the NHL is most Canadian? And a lot of people will usually say to me, well, the Canadian teams are in the Canadian cities, Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, Winnipeg, etc. Cities geographically located in Canada. Well, personally, what I think really talks about if a team is Canadian more than its geographical center is the team comprised of Canadian-born players. So today we're going to be taking a look at that. But just before we get into that, just a couple of shout outs I want to do is I want to give a shout out to Mad Tunes Entertainment out of Morden. You can find them on Facebook as well. Once the pandemic subsides, if you're looking to have a good time with some friends, not only will you get the best bang for your buck there, but you'll get good service from a good guy. I'd also like to have another shout out to Ride Motor Company, located in Edmonton, Alberta. If you're in the area or know somebody out there looking for a vehicle, give Matt and Brandon a shout out there. They'll look after you. You can find them on Facebook as well, under Matt and Brandon's Excellent Adventure. Even just after a couple of messages on Facebook, I can promise you they'll have you feeling like family. Anywho, let's get into our video here. So, there's a couple different ways we could rank teams based on being Canadian. We could rank it based on how many Canadian players is, such as, this team has 5 players Canadian, this team has 10 players. What we're going to do is we're going to rank it as a percentage of the team being Canadian, i.e., this team has 5 players out of 10 that are Canadian, and this team has 5 out of 20 that are Canadian. Well, obviously the 5 out of 10 would be a higher concentration. So anywho, this is based on what the NHL is listing on their websites as of Tuesday, December 15th, 2020. It's currently almost 1:30 a.m. here, but I doubt anything changed in the last hour or so. So, in first place, we have the Montreal Canadiens at 23 out of 33 players being Canadian-born, or 69.7%. Second place, we have the Vegas Golden Knights at 17 out of 26 players being Canadian-born, or 65.38%. I should say I'm rounding this to 2 decimal places or hundreds. Third place, we have the New York Islanders at 15 out of 23 players, or 65.22%. We have the St. Louis Blues in fourth place at 15 out of 25 players, or 60%. In fifth place, we have the Edmonton Oilers with 21 out of 36 players being Canadian-born, or 58.33%. In sixth place, we have the San Jose Sharks at 10 out of 19 being Canadian-born, or 52.63%. You'll notice the numbers in the rosters will vary quite a bit. For example, say Edmonton having 36, San Jose having 19. We got to understand it's off season right now, so things might change. This is going off of what the NHL sites have right now. Seventh place, we have Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning at 12 out of 24, or 50%. In a tie for 8th place, we have the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Philadelphia Flyers, both at 13 out of 27 players, or 48.15%. 10th place, We have the Nashville Predators at 15 out of 25, or 48%. 11th, we have the Buffalo Sabres at 11 out of 23, or 47.83%. 12th, we have the Ottawa Senators at 9 out of 19, or 47.37%. 13th, we have the Chicago Blackhawks with 13 out of 29, or 44.83%. 14th place, Dallas Stars, 11 out of 25, or 44%. 15th, we have the Detroit Red Wings at 10 out of 23, or 43.48%. 16th, we have the Anaheim Ducks at 9 out of 21 players, or 42.86%. In 17th, we have the Pittsburgh Penguins at 10 out of 24, or 41.67%. 18th, we have the Colorado Avalanche with 11 out of 27 players being Canadian, or 40.74%. 19th place, we have the New Jersey Devils at 7 out of 18. It's a little bit of a smaller roster, or 38.89%. Not sure if any of you have ever wondered what a goalie does in their spare time, but in case you're wondering, they generally surf the net. Yeah, I know, that was a bad joke. Anywho, 20th place, we have the Florida Panthers at 10 out of 26, or 38.46%. 21st place, we have the Calgary Flames, 11 out of 29, or 37.93%. 22nd, Carolina Hurricanes, 9 out of 25, or 36%. 23rd, we have the Los Angeles Kings at 7 out of 20, or 35%. 24th place, we have the Winnipeg Jets at 9 out of 26, or 34.62%. Sorry about that. 25th, we have the Vancouver Canucks at 9 out of 27, or 33.33%. Columbus Blue Jackets are in 26th place at 7 out of 26, or 26.92%. In a tie for 27th, we have the Boston Bruins and the Arizona Coyotes at 6 out of 23 players, or 26.09%. And 29th place, we have the New York Rangers with 5 out of 22, or 22.73%. And 30th place, the Minnesota Wild with 5 out of 23, or 21.74%. And actually, a little bit of an interesting fact, as I was studying the team's rosters, is Minnesota, although they have 5 Canadian-born players on their roster, they currently have no Canadian-born forwards. I don't think there's any other team that has that. And finally, in last place, we have the Washington Capitals with 3 out of 22 players being Canadian, or 13.64%. So in total, 323 players out of 743 are Canadian born, which makes up to about 43.47%. And another interesting stat is 12 teams out of 31 have a Canadian-born captain, meaning just over 38%, or 38.71 to be exact, percent of teams in the NHL have a Canadian-born captain. Now, I think while some of the teams are doing some of their off-season trades and acquisitions and people leaving, there may end up being a couple more teams that have Canadian captains as the season starts. I believe the league's looking at a mid-January start, if I'm not mistaken. But those are the numbers based on the team's official website's listing as of the last probably 3-4 hours that it took me to research this. It is a lot of research, and I know some people might not do it, but I mean, I enjoy anything sports, and I mean, I want to be able to share that with you guys who, and I mean, some people might want the stats without having to do hours of research, and I'm glad to help you guys out. So, anyhow, thank you for tuning in here today. Be sure to like and subscribe, share with your friends, and if there's anything else you want to see, feel free to leave a comment down below, or you can find us on Facebook at Thiessen TV. Thanks for watching.